All right, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Just a couple of announcements. I had to change the name of the podcast. So it's the second time I did it because every time I put a name in there, somebody has that name, and I should have did my research. So my apologies. But now the podcast and the video blog will be henceforth now and forever be known as Quote the Raven, the podcast. I chose that name because of the poem by Edgar Allan Poe, which in fact is the same poem that the Baltimore Ravens was named after. So, the couple of stanzas says "quote the Raven nevermore," even though it doesn't say the actual word "quote," but we don't speak Old English no more, so that's why we use the word "quote." All right, so let's jump right into the what can I call it, the pilot of the Quote the Raven, the podcast. All right, so I was on BaltimoreRavens.com, and in addition to the whole situations about the wide receiver room and everybody pushing the panic button, and on the last show I told y'all not to panic. It's going to be okay. Just trust the process. If y'all listen, y'all remember that. On the final drive, that's one of the videos that Ryan Meek puts out. He says, Rashad Bateman confident Ravens wide receivers can carry the load. Now, I know there's some PR fiddle faddle, but at the same time, as a fan, you have to think about it from the totality. Do I think Rashad Bateman is going to be a stud? Absolutely. Every time he had the ball in his hand last year, it was like he was moving the chains. Now, had he not missed those 5 games due to injury, I really think he would have been knocking on 1,000 yards. That's just me. I mean, just thinking about the way he played, thinking about the chain moving and the yards he was getting. All right, so on the flip side, you have Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, and Tylan Wallace. Can they carry the load? I really believe they can because they're young and hungry. I understand y'all will be like, well, they ain't do this, they ain't do that, but you got to give the guys a chance. And I'm not going to go back into that episode, but honestly, I kind of agree with Rashad Bateman. The Ravens receivers is going to show y'all something. And on top of the tight ends that we got Charlie Kohler and Isaiah Likely. Like, it's going to be good. I really feel like it's going to be good. It's like I really feel like Rashad Bateman is going to get at least 1,200. That's minimum as far as yards. And I think he's going to score at least 7 times. That's something for a later day. That's wait till we get close to the season. Then I will tell y'all my predictions and stuff. All right. Well, let's move on real quick. So, one of my favorite sports documentaries is ESPN's 30 for 30. And the 2000 Baltimore Ravens are gonna get a documentary. Now, we already got the America's Game. You got the 2000 Ravens yearbook. That's not gonna do it justice. I kind of like the fact that 30 for 30 is doing it. I think this is the first Super Bowl team to get it done. I don't know. In the modern era, I guess. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think that's huge. One of my boys on Facebook told me that, he sent me the message. He was like, yo, we about to get a team. I'm like, oh, let's go. Like, for real. Because, and then I told him I got to get my ESPN Plus back. And I'm not plugging y'all because y'all ain't paying me, so whatever. But but it's all good, though. I really, really think that documentary is going to tell the inside story. And if you're like me, you watched the first season of Hard Knocks, because the first season of Hard Knocks featured the Baltimore Ravens, but it was after the Super Bowl. Now we get to see what went down behind the scenes during that 2000 season. Yeah, we know about some stuff. We know about the quarterback, I forget bruh's name, getting benched for Trent Dilfer and all that. And Trent Dilfer, they just told him, don't turn the ball over, get me 17 points. And then we got the ball game. And just sure enough is what they said. That's how it happened. Between 10 and 17 points. If the Ravens offense score 10 points, the defense is going to score 10 points. That's how it went down. That's how it went down with Ray Lewis and Rod Woodson and Tony Siragusa and Michael McCrary, just so many, Rob Burnett, doggone Adalius Thomas, doggone, oh my God, that team was just stacked. You even had Dwayne Starks. It was chock full of the University of Miami. If you go look at that documentary from the U, like, yo, I did not know so many players from the University of Miami was on that 2000 team. Oh my God. But, that's going to be a good one. I really feel like that's going to be a good one. And I honestly can't wait to see it. I really can't wait. Because, the fan in me is like tickled pink. And it makes sense that ESPN put it out there that they're going to do a documentary on the 2000 Ravens, because on the 23rd, they having what they call a championship celebration, where it's going to be a reunion of that 2000 team. So you're going to have Brian Billick, and you're going to have, I think, Matt Stover, Ray Lewis. So just a couple of big names that came from that team. Speaking of Brian Billick, now I'm going to go ahead and put it out there because I've been thinking about this since he was fired in place of John Harbaugh. Don't get me wrong. I like John Harbaugh, but sometimes I can be real critical of John Harbaugh, and rightfully so. Because sometimes when John gets in a pinch, he makes dumb decisions. But that's just me. I really feel like Brian Billick, and y'all will probably agree with me, and some of y'all will be like, yeah, we already know. But Brian Billick set the tone. He really did. Because he let those defensive person, you got to say, you had Ray Lewis on the team. You had Shannon Sharp on the team. You had Tony Siragusa. Because if you watch Hard Knocks, Tony Siragusa was funny. You had all of those alpha males on that team. And I don't know how Brian Billick did it, but he did it. You know what? I do know how he did it, because the first thing he told them that they couldn't say the word playoffs. He said, if you're not going to say the word playoffs if you haven't earned it yet. I said, yo, those are big balls moves right there. And then 2, he said you couldn't say Super Bowl. And then 3, he was like, in so many words, he was like, why not us? Once we got into the dance, he was like, why not us? And that mentality resonated through that locker room. Even though Ray had already said, I need to get to Tampa. Y'all seen the clip. But that mentality resonated through that locker room. And so they beat down on the Broncos, which I think was a miracle, because if it wasn't for Shannon Sharp, that would have been it. Then they beat down on the Titans, which everybody knows that now iconic clip when Ray Lewis intercepts the ball from Steve McNair going to Eddie George, and he runs it back to the house and tells Adelphia Coliseum to shut. Yeah. And then, and then of course, which is supposed to have been the baddest offense in the land with the Oakland Raiders at the time with John Gruden. They shut that down. It was crazy. I was a kid. I was like 14, 15 at the time. And I remember all this stuff. I'm telling you, it's been a crazy ride. It's been some ups with the Ravens, and it's been some downs. But at the end of the day, I enjoy every minute of it, because behind me is that purple, that gold, and that black. And I ride it till I die. I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm going to put it in my will that when I die, my casket is going to be purple, the inside of it is going to be black, and I'm going to make it ironclad, and the Ravens logo is going to be across my chest. That's how much I'm with this team. That's how much I love this team. This team has given me so many good memories. But, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down right here. Again, let me go back from the top. Let me make sure we all get it, because we family, and sometimes we got to remind each other that this podcast is no longer named the Purple Power Podcast. I'm kind of glad I changed though, because it was kind of hard to say. It was like a tongue twister. This podcast is going to be forever known as the Quote the Raven, the podcast. I don't know why I put the in front of it, so I'm going to say it again. I'm going to try it again. Quote the Raven, the podcast. This has been Fonz, and I'm glad y'all on this ride with me. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be on YouTube. And also follow me on Apple Podcasts and and also on Spotify. We on Spotify now. So follow me up there. Listen to the podcast. Tell me what you think, man. Like, even if you don't tell me what you think, I'm still gonna be cranking out these videos and this audio anyway. So I'm out. Y'all have a good night. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be good. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Hug your family. All that good stuff. This is Fonz, and I'm out.